So if you want to know what gets me jumping out of bed in the morning to work on software, it's actually something we call adjudication, and I just want to give you a look at what adjudication looks like and give you a sense of where it's going. So I've got this data set. It's a 4-code data set. It's just a little one, 20 items, 4 codes, 3 coders, 20 to code. So this data has been coded by 3 coders. I'm going to go in and validate the data set. By validate, we mean review decisions made by coders and decide in retrospect whether they were right or wrong. So you can do it all at once, sort of work through the different codes. You could just pick one, which is what we generally do, and work with that. So let me start with the moderates. I'm going to review all of these one at a time. So this is the newly updated adjudication interface, and kudos to Mark for making this into something really very functional, useful. We've got over here our 3 coders, it's me and Jane and John, and the codes we've used. And it looks like Jane's the only one who selected moderate, and Stu and John have both gone with rant. So 1/3 of the users coded this item as moderate. And the point of adjudication is to now say whether or not, at this point, for this code, moderate, whether or not Jane Public was right. So we might want to just review the item again. We might be the whole group of us together reviewing it on an online meeting or in a conference room. And we may want to see the metadata associated with this item. You can see in this case, this is off of Discuss Public API, so I've got limited information, but there's the author name and reputation score for this comment here. Now the task is to hit the keystroke 1 if Jane is right and Stu and John are wrong. Keystroke 3, not valid if this is actually a rant and not a moderate comment. Number 2, if you can't quite make up your mind, you want to just skip over this one. So just looking over the comment, I'd say that this one is, I think, moderate, just because so many of the comments, topic is lobbying, and the word lobby was the search. So many of these comments are extreme. So I'm going to say that Jane was right and Stu and John were wrong, and I'm going to say that this was a valid choice, and I just hit the keystroke 1. Next item loads. In this case, all the coders said it was moderate. Probably is a moderate comment. I'm just browsing over it, so I'm going to say yes, everybody's right. So I'm actually going to switch over now and do a little adjudication on the code. Neutral. Looks like just Jane had it as neutral here. My font's a little big. Font size is adjustable. Get more of it in the box, you can do that. I'm going to say Jane was wrong here. Looks like everybody agrees this is neutral here. 2 neutrals, 1 moderate. I'm going to say that this is neutral. And when you're doing your own adjudication, there could be more or less time or discussion spent on any of these items. So that's neutral. All neutral here. So you get the idea of adjudication. We use adjudication for a lot of different things. Not least among them is to better train and better serve information to human annotators in our system. So one of the things we use in pre-testing coding schemes is our standard comparison module. This was actually the first piece of software we engineered in the free open source version of our toolkit. I'm going to add all the coders, keep all the codes, run a comparison, and I get my raw counts across the different coding. The places where there's an exact match, which would indicate that all 3 coders in this case agreed. A partial match is less than all the available coders agreeing. And this is Fleiss' kappa, which is a measure of reliability beyond chance for these coders. If I go back to the dataset details, that's our inter-rater reliability measure. I've also got my validation stats, which are very useful. I can see that for this project, 27 out of the 30, 90% of the coding choices were valid. I can see a rank order list here. Looks like everybody's doing pretty well. But this validation is very useful when you see one coder is far ahead of all the rest, or that some coders are far behind all the rest in accuracy. You can also learn a lot about the landscape of your coding by this statistic validation by code. So this is really something that we think is critical to our system, and part of what makes DiscoverText and its open source precursor, the Coding Analysis Toolkit, unique in the text analytics space. We love adjudication. We get fired up to do it. We are making updates to the adjudication system, one of the core elements of what we're working on in the startup. So I encourage you to check DiscoverText out and find out why we think adjudication is going to change everything. Thanks.